Well, it is no secret that obesity is a public health problem in the U.S., but beyond Americans' health, could it be affecting our national security? Well, it turns out obesity is the leading cause for making people ineligible to join the Army. Take a look at the numbers. Between 1998 and 2010, the number of active duty military personnel deemed overweight or obese more than tripled. In 2010, more than 86,000 troops, or 5.3% of the force, received at least one clinical diagnosis as overweight or obese. And during the first 10 months of this year, the Army kicked out more than 1,600 soldiers for being out of shape. That's about 15 times higher than in 2007. Well, typically when you think of military guys, you think of men in tip-top shape, but could you be looking right there to the evolution of the American soldier? For more on why soldiers' waistlines are expanding, U.S. Navy SEAL Stu Smith joins us now. Hi there, Stu. So what is going on here? Why are soldiers getting fat?
Well, this is nothing new, Liz. We've been doing this for decades now, dealing with a growing population. And unfortunately, the military is just a segment of society. In today's society, we are overweight.
So you are saying that this kind of just what we're seeing now in the military is a reflection of a problem we're seeing in the civilian population?
Yes, I mean, it's a national problem, not necessarily a military problem. The military has standards, and for decades, the military has adhered to those standards. And, you know, when you don't meet the standards, not only are you overweight and not meeting height-weight standards, but they are also failing the fitness standards, which really makes it dangerous for them to be doing these kind of jobs.
Right. But, you know, I know that you're a Navy SEAL, and I've heard about the really intense training that you do. And isn't that just part of being in the military, that you need to be in shape, and they kind of drill you to make sure that you do stay in shape?
Yes, well, I mean, there are many jobs in the military, especially in the special operations side, where it is very physical. So not only do you have a regular form of exercise, your job is also expending calories. However, there are many jobs in the military that are quite sedentary, and you're sitting down at a computer just like anybody else.
Okay, so we see that this problem in the civilian population is kind of spilling over into the military population, but could it be, Stu, that the military is now being more picky since it doesn't need as many people with the winding down of the wars?
Oh, absolutely. At the end of every war, there is a drawdown, and now everything has teeth. So height weight standards have teeth, the fitness standards have teeth. If you have any criminal issue, like a DUI or something like that, I mean, those things also have teeth now, meaning that the military can easily release you if you're not adhering to those standards.
Huh. Okay, and we put up those figures earlier on, but those figures are just in the Army. What do you think about the Navy and the Air Force and other branches of the military? Are they experiencing the same problem?
Well, my experience is all the military, as well as law enforcement and firefighting. It is throughout all three branches. You will see just as many stories about police officers as well as firefighters having the same issues. So
Okay.
it's, like I said, it's nothing new. It is our society that is, we're just seeing it spill over.
Yeah, nothing new, but it does seem like it's definitely getting worse, especially in the wake of these new figures. Obviously, obesity, I mean, it's been called an epidemic, a national epidemic, and obviously it's a huge problem to public health. Could it be that it's a problem to national security now that we're seeing it affect the military?
Oh, absolutely. I've been saying this since 1995. I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, I remember seeing incoming recruits coming in, and more than 50% of them could not pass the physical fitness standards on day one. So, I mean, like I said, this is nothing new. The fact that the alarming volume of people that are getting kicked out from it, that is definitely a story.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we saw in the first 10 months of this year, the Army kicked out over 16,000 soldiers. So it's a problem not only getting in now as a civilian, but those that are already enlisted are gaining too much weight, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
So I want to ask you, what is how is this prompting this problem now that it's been identified as a problem? The military to re-examine its training programs. I guess, how do you get these soldiers back in shape?
Well, the military has actually spent a lot of money on hiring physiologists, a lot more trainers. So it's not just some drill sergeant that is getting people into shape. It is actually fitness trainers that are helping out.
Okay, I do want to ask you because we are seeing the battlefield and this definition of a battlefield, what that is and what that means, kind of changing. We saw, especially under the Obama administration, the use of drones expanding. So with warfare, as you said, a lot of these soldiers, they have jobs where they're sedentary, and when you're operating a drone, you're pretty much operating a remote control. So couldn't a job like that lead to the fattening of a soldier as well?
Well, yeah, but there's no excuse in it, to be honest with you. I mean, you have, if when you are flagged for being out of fitness standards or out of height weight standards, you know about it immediately, and you have usually over a year to correct that issue. The fact that people are getting kicked out for it, they've had quite some time to get their stuff together. And the fact that they didn't get it done, yeah, you could say the military didn't make me work out, but, that's not really their job.
Really interesting, Stu. Obesity, I guess, affecting national security. Who would have thought that? Thank you very much for coming on the show. That was U.S. Navy SEAL Stu Smith.